Tristana is both one of the strongest duelists you can play and an early game powerhouse. With your crazy all-in potential, you can exert a lot of pressure, and in this Tristana guide you get everything you need to know in less than 5 minutes. You can think of Tristana as the counterpart to the champion Vayne. While both of them are excellent duelists, Vayne is a late game hypercarry, whereas Tristana is an early game snowball champion. Their power curves are pretty much perfect mirror images, which is also reflected in Tristana's game plan. She thrives when paired with early game all-in supports such as Maokai, Blitzcrank or Pantheon, since you can easily take advantage of their enormous engage potential. Unlike most early game snowball champions, however, Tristana actually also has a decent late game due to her passive. Attack range is one of the most important stats for any marksman, and since you can auto-attack from a safe distance in late game teamfights, you are able to play the late game like any other hypercarry. The fact your late game is much stronger than your mid game also gets obvious when you take Tristana's Q into account. This attack speed steroid naturally does even more when you have bigger attack range, but in the early game it is still a solid DPS increase for shorter all-in fights. You can provoke these all-in situations with Tristana's W, allowing you to quickly close the gap between yourself and your opponent. When you use it in a calculated way, you should also be able to consistently get your W resets to then safely disengage. Of course, you can still always save this ability as a defensive repositioning tool if you have to. When you lack vision or when you are falling behind, holding onto this cooldown will allow you to stay out of trouble. In situations where you do jump in aggressively though, make sure to cast your E spell mid-air to save time and to already get the first E stack from connecting your W. If you use E as I've explained, you merely need 3 additional auto attacks to fully stack it instead of the usual 4, making your plays much more consistent. While E's passive effect allows you to clear minion waves rather quickly, it also forces you to always push. Therefore, Tristana can never freeze a wave, which you have to take into consideration for your overall game plan. However, pushing is often in your best interest since the combination of E and your Q allows you to do crazy damage to opposing towers. Sometimes casting your E mid-jump when going all in will not grant you your first stack because the enemy can avoid your W's hitbox. In that case, you can still finish your all-in combo after just 3 auto attacks, getting the 4th stack from casting your ultimate. Due to its high base damage, Tristana's ultimate is a strong combo finisher, but it also comes with great defensive potential. Most AD carries are doomed when an enemy bruiser or assassin is running them down, but Tristana can both jump away with her W and push the enemy away with her ultimate, making her very hard to catch when played properly. As you can see, Tristana's all-in combos get much more consistent when you can ensure that you get at least 3 auto attacks in. Therefore, your best rune page is Hail of Blades, Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collection and Treasure Hunter, with Triumph and Legend Bloodlines secondary. Hail of Blades is the best keystone for Tristana by far, as the bonus attack speed for your first 3 auto attacks in a fight is invaluable for Tristana's playing patterns. The difference between getting or not getting your W resets is night and day, but if you correctly combo your E with your W, or later your ultimate, this keystone will guarantee that you get to 4 stacks. Taste of Blood and Triumph are your early game sources of health regeneration, whereas Legend Bloodline gets the job done during later stages of the game. Treasure Hunter is replacing good old Ravenous Hunter, but with 3 other healing runes, Tristana doesn't really miss it. Treasure Hunter is in fact quite strong on this champion because it allows you to snowball even harder with items. The undisputed best mythic item for Tristana is Kraken Slayer, which should always be purchased first, right after clicking the subscribe button. Not only does this item give you the best combat stats, but with your triple auto attack all-in combo, you are also guaranteed at least 1 true damage trigger. Your next item, Phantom Dancer, is highly synergistic with both Kraken Slayer and with your keystone. Essentially, when Hail of Blades effect ends, Phantom Dancer's passive attack speed boost is about to take over, unlocking crazy kiting and true damage output with Kraken Slayer, even in longer duels or teamfights. Also, you are now at 40% crit chance, setting yourself up for the infamous 3rd item Infinity Edge Power Spike. Tristana auto-attacks a lot, so this is naturally strong, and Tristana's E comes with a bonus crit scaling, making this even stronger. Your 4th item is Lord Doms for more crit, but more importantly because percent armor penetration is one of the best combat stats in the late game, even against squishy targets. For your last item, Bloodthirster will overall be the most reliable as it works in most matchups, but in niche scenarios, items like Guardian Angel, Morph Malmortius or Mortar Reminder can also be an option. However, especially with Tristana, the early game is far more important than the late game, and if you want to learn how the best Tristana players in the world harness Tristana's early power, just click the link on your screen right there.